Welcome back. We're starting to get to the last few moments of our conversation of some of the initiatives that are taking place in the Northwest. And just before the break, we were talking at length about the plight of artists, community centres and such like. Let's continue with our conversation. There's one lady who's sent a message to the studio. She says she was given land in the Mohono area. She was given land, and when she went to take over this land, there was somebody there already, and this person won't disappear. Her name is Flora. She's written to you, apparently, and she's just not getting any help or response.
Peter, we will have to do a follow-up on that one, because issues of land acquisition rest with the Department of Rural Development and Land Reform, which is a national competency. But as and when we get such inquiries, we forward such inquiries to them. There is always such instances where people delay in acquiring their lands, or they don't meet the criteria or anything. But what we want to emphasize to our people in Bokone-Bophirima is that as and when you are given this land, it has to be produced. There has to be production on the land. We have said, and we are still repeating it, we cannot give you land and you stay in Gauteng and you don't come to produce and you want to be a weekend farmer. I don't say it is the situation with Flora. Let's follow up on her inquiry. Our officials from Rural Development and Land Reform are here. Can we
assure her that you will look out for her contact and that you will help her? You'll direct her to the right people.
Yes.
We'll give you her numbers. Actually, we've got her phone numbers.
Will do.
All right. Okay, Flora, so if you're listening, you'll get a call from the MEC after breakfast today. Okay, this is just a couple of questions that I've got for the MEC for Health. Is he here? MEC, if you're on the front table here, table number 4, if we could get a microphone to the MEC for Health. All right, if you could just stand up. And pick up the chairperson of the Portfolio for Committee Health Social Development, Nonomaloi, after visiting several health facilities, said that these are no longer challenges, but this is a serious crisis. This is what she says about your some health facilities. On top of that, malpractice lawsuits seem to be getting worse. In fact, they've more than doubled since 2011. What's happening in the health department?
No, thank you, Peter. We do not agree that there's a crisis in health. We accept that there are challenges.
So the portfolio committee doesn't know what it's talking
we
about.
had a meeting with the portfolio committee, and they specifically visited specific hospitals, and they found that there were maintenance issues there. But I would like to challenge the portfolio committee to visit Brett's Hospital. You must remember that in the days of apartheid, hospitals that were built for black people were never built for real decent people. This government, this ANC-led government, is beginning to build hospitals and clinics for decent people. I want to challenge the portfolio committee to visit Brett's Hospital, to visit Moses Kotane Hospital, to visit Joe Morolo Hospital, and to visit new CHCs that we are building all over the province, for them to realize that indeed we are moving forward. These are dilapidated ones that we are going to be replacing.
But the quality of care is problematic. I mean, you've paid out, last month, 40 million rand in malpractice suits. That suggests something is going wrong.
We know that there's an industry that's going on. It's a business where people are moving around hospitals, making sure that files disappear when there's a court case. We are going to be having a workshop to be able to speak to these things. And we believe that it is not sustainable for South Africa that a gynecologist, for instance, must pay 45,000 per month for insurance, for litigation. So it's a national, in fact, an international problem. We've got more of our doctors now out of the hospital, but in cost-defending cases, and we've got more of the lawyers now moving around hospitals looking for patients with problems. And we think this is wrong.
Are you saying there is no malpractice?
We accept that there could be challenges from time to time, but we don't believe that we've got negligent nurses and doctors. We believe that there are professionals who are good enough to be able to tackle diseases in the whole world, not only in South Africa. But we believe that there's something wrong with these litigations, and we are doing something about it. We had a national Indaba on litigations where we are addressed by international speakers to make us aware that, in fact, litigation is an international problem.
All right, okay, we're going to leave it there because of time, but thank you very much indeed for clearing some of that up. Thompson Trimba is on table number 5. Yeah.
Morning, everyone. Protocol observed. Thank you, Peter. My question, Peter, is that here in Dr. KK, we have a lot of closed mines here surrounding this area. So my question is that, what is the plan of the government to build those, to build something in those areas? For instance, we have something like Gold Reef City around Dr. KK, or centers, or to build resorts. Because now the challenge is that now, in those closed mines, the challenge is that those people of Zamazam, they are killing each other in those areas, and there is nothing that happens to them.
Okay.
In order to resolve that.
All right. If we could get a brief answer for him, can we do a Gold Reef City type scenario?
Yes, it's practical.
Yeah? Is it
happening? No, let me assure you, the Premier said we must have 4 hotel schools in the province. The 3rd one will be opening next month. One of the closed mines have given us the infrastructure in Orkney, here in Orkney. So we'll be having our 3rd hotel school in Orkney. We have viewed the place, their hostel, their classrooms, just to bring it to the concept of hotel schools. We are looking at how do we convert this closed mine into something like your Gold Reef. That is something that we are working on, but it will need a lot of money. We need invest. We are still negotiating who is interested, like MEC Nelson spoke of P, who's interested to come to party with us to convert that. There's a lot of potential, but we are working on it.
Okay. MEC Nelson, 43% unemployment. What are you doing about it?
Peter, yes, we're saying that it's a huge challenge. We're saying that we want to grow the economy by 6%. We are saying also that 60% of the spend of the budget within the province, we need to ring fence for villages, townships, and small dorpies. What we are saying is that we need to develop the villages, townships, and small dorpies in order to retain people within these areas. We are saying 60% this year, 70% the next year, 80%. From provincial government, we are saying we're looking at the spend within government, where are we procuring, and we need to ring fence some of these procurements that we are doing to say this needs to go to the villages, it needs to go to townships, it needs to go to small dorpies. Onto that, I was saying NWDC we're using as our investment wing, and we are calling also on partnerships, looking at partnerships as MEC Mohono has just indicated, the Gold Reef City, but we need partners. We need people to bring in. In fact, the economic cluster is sitting today after where we're possibly going to be speaking with some investors who are looking at bringing investment into the province.
So we're still quite a way away, and 6% sounds quite steep actually, given what I heard from the President yesterday. And if you don't hit that 6%, this 43% unemployment can continue to be a problem. But that's a conversation for another day. Table 13, Tia, is it Nsipe? Table 13. Yeah, speak.
Good morning, everyone, and viewers at home, Peter. My question is, in this province that we are, or in South Africa, we're facing the record companies or independent record labels, we're facing a challenge of piracy, where people, they duplicate the material or stealing our own creativity. What I want to ask it is, what is the province is going to do in terms of minimizing the piracy in the Northwest province? Because it's a challenge for the upcoming artists, it's a challenge for the composers, because at the end of the day, they benefit out of that. Also, the second point...
Okay, we don't have time for the second point, but that's an important one. And what I want to do is actually I want to get maybe a couple of questions straight away to address, so you can address them. Table number 4, Tukelo Ahang. Table number 4, Tukelo.
Good day, listeners and honorable leadership. I must say we are impressed by the presentation of our MECs, especially who constitute majority of the MECs in our ESCO. With only 2 questions.
You only have one, actually.
The first one is how does ACT relate to the newly introduced concept of rural development and small dorpies, and also inquiring from MEC Wendy, what has happened to Mahika Mahike as enunciated in the SONA as well as the state of the province?
Okay, all right. Let's address those questions as quickly as possible, 30 seconds each.
All right, minimizing piracy, we agree wholeheartedly. We need to check compliance. We feel it's very important. What we are doing through business regulation, when we go out, we will also look at piracy. Very difficult to control because you can't get into people's homes. So you can only deal with it where you find it or where you get links. But we agree wholeheartedly with that. ACT relate to VTSD. ACT is based on VTSD, or VTSD is linked to ACT. So it's very, very closely related. The last one on the issue of Maika Maikeng, it is on track. It's taking place in from the 1st to the 8th of December this year. So Maika Maikeng is on track. It's taking place in December, 1 to 8 December this year.
All right, and I'm running out of time, but one issue that I saw also, uncontrolled grazing. This is a big concern, particularly for the smaller farmers. How are we dealing with that?
Within our land care program, we have fencing, and this is also done in the rural areas. Currently, we are in Taung at Khosimo Tlabane's village, because the problem with uncontrolled grazing is issues of fences. We have been saying to our farmers, to our communities, stop removing fences that we are putting up as a province, as provincial government. The other issue is that we also need to check issues of overgrazing, because that is what is determining these things of uncontrolled grazing. The drought effect, because of that, our livestock don't have food, and they, as a farmer, you will take them to any other place except where you're supposed to be in a confined area. But it is a problem that we are working on together with our traditional leadership to say, let's take care of our fences as and when we put in, but we also want our farmers to take care or responsibility of their livestock.
Unfortunately, we've run out of time, and this always happens. So I just want to say thank you very much indeed to our guests that led this discussion. So to you, MEC for Tourism, Desbo, Mohono, thank you very much indeed, and thank you for your thoughts. MEC Finance, Economic and Enterprise Development, Wendy Nelson, thank you very much indeed. And the MEC for Rural, Environmental and Agricultural Development, Manketsi, Tlhape, thank you very much indeed. And to you at home and the audience here, thank you so much for being part of this conversation today. Just to let you know that next week in Cape Town, we'll be talking to Minister of Public Enterprises, Lynn Brown, as well as the CEOs of our SOEs. And if you want to be part of that conversation, if you want to know from Brian Molife, for example, Eskom, how are we going to keep the lights on? If you want to know about Trot Rail, CEO of Transnet is going to be there. So we've got the CEOs, we've got the minister. That's our conversation next week. But from here, Bokone Bupirima, visit. Have a great time, everybody. Thank you. Have a great day.